Are you finding it hard to inspire your team and keep them motivated? Or having to deal with an employee who's really productive but maybe becoming slightly problematic? Well, that's what I'm here to talk about today. We're continuing our short series on staff retention with this tip on how to keep your staff motivated. This week, we're looking at just a few ways to keep your staff motivated and on track to help your practice grow. The first thing you want to do is make sure you have a bonus game for that month, and you want to ensure it's clear as far as what the target is. The way that we set this up is by having a sense of what your overhead is. It's really critical. We need to ensure that we're covering overhead, all your major expenses, and pay for yourself, and set a target above that. Depending on your circumstances, your overhead might look like $50,000, and a real target for your practice might be $60,000 as a starting bonus level. So what you would want to do is let your team know exactly what the target is and what they will be receiving in exchange for hitting that target. So if it's $60,000 and the bonus for that month is going to be, let's say, $250 per employee for hitting that bonus, you make that very clear so they know the game that they are playing for that month. So in our example, starting at $60,000, the bonus is $250. You can then have the next tier be $70,000 for a bonus of $500. A lot of offices will play quarterly games and yearly games, and I think those are really great bonus systems to have in place. But what I like about the monthly bonus system is that it keeps everybody focused in a short time period so that they're really working within that month to hit a certain revenue target versus thinking about in 2 or 3 months, we need to hit our target, which might delay action. So if we can bring that target date up and play a worthwhile game with a team, I feel that that will generate more activity from the employees in general. One point to keep in mind is that you always want to have your bonus games based off of collections, not production. And this is a point that I sometimes see go wrong. So just ensure that when you are creating your games and you're conveying them to the team, that you're very clear about the fact that it is a collections target. It is a revenue goal, not production based. Another way to help keep your team motivated is to have a smaller mix of games that you can play on a day-to-day basis throughout that month. They don't necessarily need to be tied to collections. They can be, but things like having a bonus for every review that your employee gets, or every referral, reactivation, keeping AR within a certain percent. These are all different games that you can play on a day-to-day basis, and that really help keep your staff motivated and focused on what they need to do that day to bring about results. Your smaller mix of games will obviously have smaller bonuses connected to them. For example, a review game might be $5 per review, or they can grab from a grab bag after collecting 3 reviews, depending on how easy or difficult it is to collect reviews for your office. You can compensate your employee $100 for every referral that they get in, which will keep patient referrals and new patients top of mind for your employees. You'll notice a common thread to all of this is playing games and keeping the environment really positive. So in addition to playing a monthly game or a daily, weekly game, you want to ensure that you are constantly celebrating the wins and contributions of your team members. Another way to do that is in your team settings, like in your morning production meeting or in your team meetings, ensuring that you are celebrating the staff wins and highlighting the things that they did right, versus on putting attention on all the things that didn't. There are always going to be challenges in running your dental practice, whether that's the hygiene schedule falling apart for half a day or new patients not quite being what you want them to be. So it's really critical that you're focusing on the things that are going right, because we get what we put our attention on. And your team is going to produce more of what you're putting your attention on. We cover this in greater detail in one of our older podcasts, and that's going to be in the description. Obviously, there will always be various challenges in running your practice. So having things like games, whether they're monthly, daily, and focusing on the wins really allows you to continue the forward movement that you're making in terms of growing your practice. That's all we have today. If you'd like to see more, hit the subscribe button below. Also, if there are any points you would like addressed in the next tip regarding staff retention, feel free to leave that in the comments. Have a great week and see you at the next tip.